Hi everyone, it's Pete here from the Pain Toolkit, and good morning to everyone. I know everybody's a little bit worried about at the moment about where this coronavirus business and whatnot. So I'm going to be doing lots more interviews. Because I guess everybody's going to be at home and whatnot. So, but it's my pleasure to, and I'm very excited to talk to my good buddy Ronnie Barber. Hey Ronnie, good morning to you. You want to say hello to everyone?
Yeah, good morning, Pete. Morning to everybody who is involved with the Pain Toolkit. It's great to be here. It's great. It's interesting that we've all ended up working from home now. Apart from our NHS people as well, who've had to go into work as well today.
Yeah. Hey Ronnie, listen. Let me just tell the viewers how I met you. I met you because of the expertise you got around doing podcasts and stuff like that, and there's something I've always wanted to do but really never had the confidence to do it. But I'll tell you what, rather than me tell the viewers about you, why don't you tell the viewers about you?
Yeah, that's complicated, Pete. We've been doing the podcast and I got you to edit that bit again, but no, I'm a radio presenter. I've been a radio presenter for 25 years, more or less. And before that, I was a medic in the RAF. So I've always been interested in medical stuff. And I think you haven't really quite said how we met, because I think I did a phone in and I was talking about pain and how people deal with it. And you phoned me up. I think it was BBC Essex, and that's where we met. Yeah. And I was just intrigued by your kind of the reasoning behind it when people were, how to deal with it on a personal basis and not always have to go with medication. And I think you came on the radio that day, and that's when I got really sort of interested in what you were getting up to. And then I realised, of course, not just your story, but everybody else's story needed to be told. And that's when we kind of came up with the podcast, which I was chuffed to do.
Yeah. Ronnie, as I said, I think I'll be getting a bit of Alzheimer's creeping in. I forget sometimes how we met and whatnot. But, so as I said, I'm still learning about broadcasting and stuff like that. But, I mean, you told me about what you do, how professionally you do podcasts and stuff like that. So it was a bit of a no-brainer, really, to get you involved. What I was really keen to do as well, because when I worked in the NHS myself on a program called the Expert Patients Program, we were a very good organisation in producing information for everybody in the community. And I learned while I was in my time there about a lot of people with vision problems don't necessarily get all that information about managing their pain. So I think doing a podcast was providing a bit of information. But Ronnie, can you tell how long have you actually been doing podcasts yourself?
I started doing podcasts more or less at the start of it, when it was just a kind of embryonic. I just kind of fell upon it because I realised that there's a lot of people got stories to tell, but they didn't have a way of doing it. Usually it was through radio that you could actually tell your story this way. But I realised as well, it's a different kind of medium to normal radio in the sense that it's more personal. And also, as well, it's audio on demand as well, Pete. You don't have to go through a whole radio programme to get to what you need. You can actually say, right, as we did, we'll do a podcast about what you do, Pete, and your story. And that's where it kind of developed for me. And of course, podcasts now, I think I said to you a long while ago, the number of downloads was just astonishing. Well, I would hate to think what the downloads are now and how many. The podcast network is now monetized as well. People are actually making more money from it. Oh yeah, in America, it's massive, and people are making money now. A lot of it through kind of advertising, but it's not too intrusive advertising because it's kept quite to a minimum, because people are not trying to make a fortune from podcasts. They're just more or less, a lot of them are just trying to cover the costs, though some people make a lot of money from it.
I'll tell you what, when we was having a chat the other day, obviously organising this interview, and I was quite surprised again, but you reminded me that how many people do actually listen to podcasts and stuff like that. And then I've started to talk to other people, and they say, yeah, we love all that sort of stuff. I think Jack down the gym, I think he does podcasting, and I didn't realise how massive this industry is. So what? So say, for example, someone wanted to. I mean, listen, you've got your own little organisation here, FE Productions, and I mean, how would someone start out by, you know, I mean, what I liked about what with you is that you actually interviewed me, and I think trying to interview yourself sometimes is a bit tricky. And that's what I liked about you know, the actual Pain Toolkit podcast. But how would you be able to support someone who was interested in doing podcasting?
I like to help people do it to get started. It doesn't take much to get started as well, Pete. It takes, you know, you can download the stuff. You can do it on your own. There's very much the computers now. There's edit suites where you can edit the whole thing. But I think what I like to do is to get people started. I like to get them doing it and getting the confidence. I mean, look at you, Pete. You were not doing any of this kind of stuff. I'm not taking the blame for the blame. I'm not taking the blame for you being on the video all the time. No, I'm not taking the credit. But a lot of the time, it's just about confidence. People don't like to hear their own voice, or they don't think they've got anything to say. I have never done one of these before, where nobody's got anything to say. Everybody's got a story. And what podcasting is doing is just unleashing that energy, that narrative that they can actually help. And this is the big thing for what you do, which is just quite amazing. I'm complete all of you, and the other Pain professionals as well, is that you're able to share the pratfalls, the things you got wrong, and be honest with it. Because one great thing about audio is that it actually shows you up. If you are telling a wee porky pie, not that you would tell porky pies, Pete, apart from the time when you go to the bar and you don't buy a drink, but let's not go that way. But it actually kind of frees people up to express themselves, and it's part of that. Remember when we first started, Pete, I said, Pete, this is not going to get you loads of people, you know, tuning into you. You're not going to become Radio 2. What you're going to do is add this to everything else you do, the videos and everything. So the podcast, and we worked hard on this. We worked on making sure it was the right length so that people could listen to it at the gym. They could actually hear you and me, not that would help people along with their exercising, but they could hear you and me talking about things and not being irrelevant. We kind of get it done, and it's there. And over your overall strategy, your website and everything, Pete, has just been amazing, the way you've developed things. And people can do that as well. It used to be, and this is what got me excited about podcasting, it freed ordinary people to get out there and get and tell stories and get and tell them and interact with other people. And it's another form of social media, but it's a really creative one as well, because, you know, you can actually get a constituency and get an audience that are interested in your story and reach out to them. This is what I think has been great. What you've done is reaching out and finding people going, oh, Pete's right. That's exactly what happened to me. Or I can't get my doctor to talk to me about other forms of pain medication, or not pain medication, but controlling pain. So that's what I was excited about working with you. And I mean, I'm working with some hospice charities now as well, and also talking about how we can get them in, because one of the big stigmas about hospice care is nobody talks about death. And one of the things about hospice care is they talk about a good life, and they also talk about a good death. And I'm really interested in that. I get excited about seeing people reaching out to other people who are in the same kind of situation but don't know where to go.
It's interesting saying that, Ronnie, because it's about, when you talk about people telling their story and stuff like that, there's quite a big thing in pain management land about storytelling, you know, because, you know, normally when I mean, it's quite changed. It's changed around quite a bit now, but where you go and see the healthcare professional, they give you the leaflet, you know, and you know what? A lot of people with pain, we're not very visual readers in that sort of sense.
No.
You know? But what? So the thing is, with pain, it makes you become like in that bubble where you think that, you know, this is all this stuff that's happened to me. It only happens to me. But when you hear about other people's experiences, like what we did, you know, I was sharing via the podcast and stuff like that, people have fed back to me, like, yeah, Pete, you know what? I thought I was the only one that felt thought like that, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh, the nod factor, and this goes back to a wee bit to when I do a phone in on a radio station. So a lot of people won't phone into a radio station until they hear the thing they can add to the story. So the great joy is getting a new person to kind of step up and go, yeah, that's me you're talking about. That's me. That did happen to me. And the nod factor is crucial in reaching out into your community. The nod factor is crucial in saying to them, hey, come in. It's safe here because I've been there. There's a great story about the man who falls into the hole and he can't get out, and another bloke's walking past. He says, I can't get out of this hole, and the fella jumps in. He goes, what have you done now? The two of us are trapped. He says, yeah, but I know the way out. And that's the thing. When you get people like you and the other professionals talking about it and saying, listen, there are alternatives here. All right, they might not all suit you, but they're out there. I think as well, it's quite nice to talk to other people who know what you've gone through, isn't it?
It is. It's funny enough. I saw a post yesterday from the International Association to Study of Pain, and I think they're doing something like a webinar sort of thing, where they've got a couple of my buddies doing. They call it a lived experience. You know, where a friend of mine, Keith Meldrum from Canada. He's going to be on the webinar, and also Jo Belton from Denver. She's going to be, and they're going to be talking about their lived experiences living with pain. So I think stuff like this, Ronnie, podcasting and videoing and whatnot, especially what the world we are at the moment at this moment in time as far as business. I think, you know, keeping in contact with each other is very vital.
Yeah, and also as well, I didn't say that right, but they talk about the democratization of the message, and actually what podcasts and what videos like this, they're actually saying, because the old way, you would have to get, you've had to get the local media involved with you. You don't anymore. You don't have to get any. They know, and I guarantee it happens to a lot of people, they'll go, I saw this guy who did a video, or I heard this, and he'd make a really good guest, because they hear you and go, oh, he's a good talker, or he's good, he's a good looking. Well, you know, I was waiting to say good looking, Pete, but I can't do that with any.
Like you, Ronnie.
I'm only joking.
Listen, man, like you, I always say I've got a perfect face for radio.
Yeah, no, well, I'm blessed, as you can see, with good looks. Yeah, that's right. But it has freed up the people. They don't have to go to channels, television. They put it out there, and now I know a lot of my colleagues, journalists, they'll Google things. They'll see something on Twitter or Facebook. A lot of news gathering now is done on Facebook. They see somebody. In fact, I'm doing a podcast today with somebody who's set up a support group. I live in Ely in Cambridgeshire, and she set up a support group to look after vulnerable people in the streets in the months ahead. And people are actually taking control of the street, in the sense that they're going to look after the over 70s or the at-risk people, and making sure they're not on their own. How brilliant is that? But I only saw that that lady was on Facebook, and now I'll put the podcast out again. It doesn't get millions of listens. It just puts something, another layer onto it. And right now, we got to be in touch more than ever, and saying, right, I'm here. What do you need? What is it? You want a whinge? You want a moan? Go for it.
Yeah. Listen, Ronnie, I think, do you know what? I'm just sitting here thinking myself, we've got to do a lot more of these. So if you're up for it, we can perhaps, this is obviously a recorded video. but I'm going to try and work out how we can do a joint,
Yeah, I'd love to. Well, you know, Pete, I'd love to do it because
Facebook Live.
I like your coffee. That's the first thing. I like your coffee. You haven't made me a sandwich yet. I'm looking forward to that. I like looking at your motorbikes as well. I'm a big fan of motorbike. I don't think I'll go out with you, Pete, if you don't mind me saying. And here's the other thing I've noticed. Sorry, this got nothing to do with I'm just whinging, viewers. But you go out to these lovely cafes in your motorbikes, right? And the galley and all these, and you send pictures, but you don't bring any cake back with you. What's going on there?
All right, I'll tell you what, Ronnie. I'll tell you what. I promise you, if you want to come down, we're going to have to keep a metre apart, and we can sit outside. But I'll tell you what, dude. I can organise. Well, I'll meet you over in Woodbridge. We'll go to the galley.
Yeah.
And
we could do a podcast. See, that's the other thing as well about podcasts. You don't need a studio. You can actually just do it like this. You can just a microphone and a recorder, and we're away. Yeah. And would you be paid for that?
Coffee? Yeah. Oh, mate. I'll tell you what. I'll
and the cake. And the cake.
And the cake is to die for, man. It's Turkish carrot.
Yeah. Can I just remind you? This has been video recorded, mate. So just I've now got a record. I'm not saying you're tight, Pete. I'm not saying that at all.
No, I'm not edit that bit out, Ronnie. I'll tell you what I do. But I know you said to me right at the beginning about editing. Do you know what? I always put out what I'm saying. I know there's some things there where I'm in an hour and stuff like that. But you know what, Ronnie? That's life.
When was the last time you let anybody? Remember in the pubs, how many times have you started a conversation and in 2 minutes you're on to something else because somebody interrupted, somebody like me usually interrupted and went into a different area. That's nothing's binary. Conversation isn't really that binary because you just go, oh, I've thought of something else, or I've got a good joke here, or something like that. That's the way it goes.
And I always remember a story about a guy down at Chelmsford Cathedral. And they asked, I don't know, Canon or whatever he's the guy who runs the cathedral down here, about there's a bit in the ceiling of Chelmsford Cathedral where there's a bit missing.
Yeah.
And he said, what happened there? He said, well, what we wanted to do is just to sort of show that life isn't perfect.
Yeah.
And to me, it's about it. It's about being, live, raw.
Yeah, it's real. All my broadcasts, Pete, are perfect. Everything I do on the radio is every single day. I'm just perfect. You have no idea how perfect.
Well, I know there's a lot of. I know you was on radio at BBC Essex, and I know we miss you. I know you moved over to Cambridge there, but I know Jeff up in Clacton. I know he misses you. And
yeah.
A lot of followers over there still miss you.
But I loved it.
Listen, Ronnie. So how can people get hold of you?
Just go to the website effieproductions.com or .co.uk. Get me there. I'm on Twitter as well, and Effie Productions on Twitter, and whatever people. And I'm not. If people, as I said, I wanted people to keep on doing the podcast, and I can start people off, and then it's up to them. And another thing, I love to hear new voices. I love that. I love to hear. I mean, your voice is not great, Pete. That's terrible. That's absolute. Do any of your other guests rip into you, Pete?
Oh no. You always make me laugh, dude. I love it. Yeah. I'm just hit the stop record button soon, but just stay there and we'll have a little chat and whatnot before wrapping up. All right. So, Ronnie, be cool and groovy. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you again on another Pain Toolkit video interview. If you've got something to say and you want to tell other people, we can just drop me a line via the website www.paintoolkit.org/contact. Just drop me a line there, and we'll organise a Zoom video like this. So if you've got something to say about pain self-management, just drop me a line. Take care now, everybody, and don't panic buy, keep calm, and let's carry on. Take care.